Nevada, the great silver state and the gold. New tales of Nevada, the stories, people working hard to make a home. Old tales of Nevada.
Hello everybody, welcome to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. Well, we have a great show in store for you today. We've got some great tales and we're going to tell you about it right after this.
Hey everybody, Dave Asher here down at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall. You know, we all spend a lot of money during the holiday season. Please, this year, shop with Nevada-based locally owned businesses as much as possible. Here at the Nevada Marketplace, we support over 250 local merchants. You're sure to find a perfect gift for everyone on your list. We're open 7 days a week with easy parking and it's warm inside. We're at the corner of Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com and keep Reno local.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
Welcome everybody to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show. And as usual, with me every week is Uroy Marshall, our executive producer. Uroy,
hey John,
good to see you this week. How you been, okay?
Good.
Attaboy. And we have some real special guests today. Yeah. One is Kristen Ivy, and she is the, I want to get this right, founder and executive director of a organization called CRCS. So welcome to the show,
well, thank
Kristen.
You for having me.
And just tell us what those initials are for.
It's a long name. It's Canine Rehabilitation Center and Sanctuary. So we kind of shortened it, make it easier, CRCS.
All right, wonderful. And that gives us a hint as to what we're going to be talking about today, which is the evolution of animal care here in northern Nevada. And we have had some great things happen in that area of our state, and we want to make sure that people know the history and how special we are here in northern Nevada.
One of the safest places to be a dog in the country.
All right, very good. And of course, Steve Ricker, and Steve has been on our show before, great historian. And the last time we had you on, we were talking about the Piazzas and the people who did great things for the community in the past. And you are the president of RG Consulting.
That's
RG
correct.
Consulting.
That's correct.
And I know there's more to the name than that, and you can tell us what the rest of that is. What it's consulting
and fundraising.
Fundraising, all of that.
Yes, media.
And you've been involved with nonprofits and animals for years and years and years.
When I had hair, even.
Yeah.
So it's been about 40 years that I've been involved.
Well, we'll have to put that up on camera so people can see what you look like in the day. All right. So look forward to this conversation because it's going to be eye-opening, I think, for a lot of people here in northern Nevada. But we always start with you, Roy, because Uroy is the one that had the idea to start this show 10 years ago. We're on 310 episodes now, and Uroy has been the one who has carried the freight for the show every single week, and so we always give him the opportunity to tell us why we do the show.
You betcha. Well, we do this show in order to talk about Nevada, because actually Nevada is a very fine state, which has a great history in the United States, which many people don't know or realize that after the Civil War, as a country, we were totally broke. And we owed about $8.5 to $9 million, and it was Abraham Lincoln's goal and need in order to be president to pay that back.
Yes.
And the funds came from the Comstock out of the generosity and charity of the silver miners in the Comstock.
Very much so.
So basically, that is a very important thing that happened, but also the dollar became invented more or less by Morgan, who developed the silver dollars, which came from silver from Virginia City.
Yeah.
10% copper and 90% silver.
Silver, yeah.
That's
yeah.
the best they could do in those days. So,
yeah. So we certainly have left a mark
Yeah.
on American
Most
history
definitely.
with what happened up there in the
Oh
Comstock.
yeah, and the knowledge of our military and of our scientific community is excelling and has excelled in Nevada over the past 20
Right.
years.
And mining is not dead in Montana or in Nevada,
No.
right? Because we know there's lithium in Nevada that people
Yeah.
are finding in all these different valleys, which is being used by big companies like Panasonic
Yeah.
and Lithia. But you up there on the Comstock are exploring the northern part of the state. Or the northern part of the territory there, and you're finding a lot more ore than they ever thought was
Well,
there.
we found a very large amount of palladium, platinum, and iridium, which does not come from this planet.
So where
So
does it come
that's
from?
odd news, but I don't know where we got hit around Virginia City, that area, but it has an extremely unusual geology.
Yeah, and there is documentation that parts of Nevada have been hit by meteorites.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
all
like-
over the state.
Like Railroad Valley, where we
Yeah.
had a guy on a show, and he was talking about how that's where a meteor hit, and that's why there's a lot of mineralization
It
there.
opened it up to oil that was below the oceans there
Yeah.
in that area, so that's our major
Pretty
oil
amazing.
producing
So,
area. is
amazing
Railroad
place.
Valley.
Amazing place. And you can see a lot of the ores in the Comstock or from the Comstock up at your store, which
Yep.
is
Marshall Mint.
Marshall Mint.
You
yeah.
betcha.
Yeah. So
Come
that's on
stay
C
in the
Street.
hotel too.
Yes, Silverland and the Suites.
Bring your honey up there and
Sunday
make a
through
night of
Thursday.
it.
Yeah,
Sure.
Sunday through Thursday at $82.
There you go.
can't beat that.
You'll see Johnny O up there probably.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or Jim Webster.
Or Jim Webster, yeah.
And reservation number is?
847-4484.
All right, very good. So let's go to Kristen. Kristen, you again are the founder and executive director for CRCS. And before we get into that work and charity, tell us about yourself a little bit. Where you're from and how you got to Nevada.
Oh, you know what? I grew up in Alaska.
Oh, you did?
I did, and I came down here to go to college in
Oh.
'97.
Wonderful.
And I never left. I fell in love with the area, and it's just home, and so this is where I'll always be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what did you major in college, just out of curiosity?
Oh, you know what? I have a degree in business management
Oh,
and
super.
also interior design.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Maybe come over to my house, give me a few tips. I could use a lot of help that way.
You're going to have to stand in line.
But you moved from that kind of interest to this.
Well, the connection
Opportunity.
is that I've always been a believer that environment plays a huge role in our total being, how you feel, your mood. So the sanitary safety, all of that affects of an environment affects people as
Sure.
well as it does dogs.
Sure.
And so yeah, I had an interior design business for many, many years while I was a volunteer and animal advocate.
Okay.
But then at some point in your life you decide that you have to go with where your heart is.
Sure, absolutely.
And so, yeah, I'm just probably the biggest advocate out there for these dogs that are mislabeled and have suffered major trauma, and shelters will not adopt them out or cannot, and
Yeah.
so we take them in.
They're
Yeah,
very
so
damaged physically and mentally.
They're broken.
Oh,
They've
broken.
been through, they've been through a lot of years of isolation or mistreatment, just
Yeah.
all kinds of different traumas, and so, you just have to realize that that's sort of your purpose.
Yeah.
And so I will never do anything else.
Yeah, that's
So
wonderful. What a calling.
Yeah.
And what a benefit that is to the community to take care of our animal friends as nicely as that. You know,
Of
not too
course.
many communities do that, I don't suppose.
Not what we do is a really specific niche,
Mm.
and there's really not less than a handful of organizations in the United States that are even doing it.
Yeah.
So we serve as a support system for shelters.
Wow.
So we take the dogs in that they cannot or will not place.
Yeah,
so
how special is that, you know? And that, again, that just reminds me of what happens here in Reno and the surrounding areas, is that we have people who have come to town and not only have done well in business, but are always wanting to give back in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
You, Roy, does it, you do it, and of course Steve, we want to go to Steve here. Steve Ricker, you've been involved with nonprofits for a long time, especially on the animal side, right?
I have. You know, I was with the Nevada Humane Society for 25 years.
Right.
From everything from the director to actually started as a kennel attendant.
Oh, really? Yeah.
One summer.
There's a
Isn't that
thankless
amazing?
job
Yeah.
in some ways.
But I settled in on the fundraising and media. I really enjoy the fundraising part of it,
Okay.
as well as the media. And,
Yeah. And
we've
you-
seen some major changes.
Yeah, you've done some things that were the first as far as animal protection and servicing of the animals, not only here in Reno, but it was set an example for the rest of the country, I guess.
Yeah, you know, the Nevada Humane Society, actually Northern Nevada has been always ahead of the curve when it comes to animals, especially domestic animals. You know, the Nevada Humane Society was the first organization in the state of Nevada to start a spay-neuter vaccination clinic. They were the first to start early age sterilization at 7 weeks old, which really cut down on the pet population, especially on the kitten side and the puppy side.
Right.
We were the first to produce an animal welfare telethon that went nationwide. Eventually, my company was producing 25 telethons every year
No
from
kidding.
coast to coast.
Whoa.
So we've always kind of set the benchmark for other organizations nationwide, and CRCS is the next step.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we've got two really nice shelters here in Northern Nevada, you know, Nevada Humane Society / Animal Services, which there are only two in the nation that share a building,
Okay.
as well as the SPCA. And now you have CRCS out at the old Cattleman's restaurant in Washoe Valley. That'll bring back some memories for us.
Yeah.
The old Cattleman's. And
Sure.
they're the ones that, I call them the island of misfit dogs.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what they get. You know,
Yeah.
they get everything that nobody else wants to take the time, effort, or use the amount of funding that it takes to get them back on their feet.
Yeah, that's an amazing thing. So it's exciting times for the animals here in Northern Nevada. Do you do dogs and cats? Go ahead.
I wonder, does the overall SPCA of the U.S. handle an overall activity? We've given $7 million to the SPCA in Houston.
Well,
which
in
was
fact,
the
I was their
Houston
telethon
SPCA.
coordinator for years at the Houston SPCA for about 15 years. I was, Patty Mercer was the director there.
Okay.
And so it's
So it's a national organization.
well, no, it isn't. Every humane society is their own
Is their own
organization.
organization.
Oh.
There is no national organization.
Okay.
But I got to tell you, the Houston SPCA is one of the best in the nation, and we took some of their knowledge and we transported some of our knowledge, especially in the fundraising and media relations.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there is no national organization. They don't get any money as the Humane Society or SPCA from any national organization. Those they might say that the Humane Society of the United States, but they're their own organization. They don't have chapters or franchises.
I kind of thought that was
Yeah.
Now, just for general knowledge, you're at the Cattleman's out there on Old 395.
Washoe Valley.
Yeah. And then you have the Humane Society. Where's that located?
It's on Longley Lane.
Longley Lane. Okay.
Over by the airport, and then you have the SPCA. You
Where
know,
are they?
They're up by the sheriff's office.
Oh, okay.
Up
Because
there.
they used to be downtown.
Yeah,
They
right.
had an old facility
Yeah.
downtown. So if you want to go there, it's open, 5 days a week, I guess?
I think they're open 7
week?
days a week.
7 days a week, yeah. And find yourself a rehabilitated animal or one that doesn't need it. But they have a lot of animals there, right?
They do.
Both dogs and cats.
They do.
And the adoption process, which you can talk about, but it's fairly easy to do and not very expensive, I guess.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's true. Okay, listen, we got to break for a minute here and talk to some of our commercial friends, and we'll get back to the story here about animal protection in Northern Nevada on Old Tales in Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle, we're the biker's bike shop.
Hi, I'm Paula.
And I'm Dan. We're the producers of the Tanner's Marketplace Antiques and Craft Shows at the Livestock Event Center on Wells Avenue.
I'd also like to tell you about our everyday location. We're at Somewhere in Time on South Virginia Street. We're Antique Antiques, booth number 46.
You'll find paintings by Nevada artists, collectible glass, vintage jewelry, Native American jewelry and baskets, antiques and unusual to unique items.
Find it all at Antique Antiques inside Somewhere in Time at 1313 South Virginia Street.
Come see us!
Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once in a lifetime savings and pay the sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitsky Lane in Reno. It's the best of the Old West at the 65-room Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. Mountain high and city close, a great place for your next holiday party, seminar, reunion, anniversary, retreat, convention, or wedding. The Silverland has everything you need: ballroom, bar, great rates, service, and more. Only 22 miles from Reno. There is even transportation from Reno to Virginia City available on request. Call 847-4484 today. We're back here on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. We're talking with Kristen Ivy and Steve Ricker, and they are totally involved in the protection of animals, especially dogs and cats, in the matter of Humane Society, both in protection and rehabilitation. And what a calling that is. And I suppose we have a great number of people in the community who would like to see that kind of thing happen and make sure the animals are safe and well cared for and all that kind of things. You find that that's true, right?
I do, and I think that what distinguishes Kristen's organization from the shelters is the very specific clientele that they have. And again, they are ones that they may have come from a lab, they may come from an abusive situation, they may have come from a family like mine did that was addicted to drugs. Oh. Kristen, tell us, give us the whole...
I want to do that. I just want to go to you, Steve, first of all. We'll let the anticipation build. But I just want to get a history of this effort in Reno, because like I said in the intro, a lot of things were first, and you had a lot to do with that. And so give us a history, give us the evolution of this animal protection, and then we'll get into this modern day treatment that's happening here.
Well, the Nevada Humane Society was founded in 1932, one of the first on the West Coast. And it was on a ranch by where the Grand Sierra is today, where the Harley-Davidson dealership was right there. Okay. And it was so primitive that they have to break the ice in the wintertime for the dogs' water and food. Oh, wow. And they primarily took in dogs, cats, and some rabbits. Mm. They then they got a bequest from the Wattell Foundation, George Wattell, that did a lot of stuff at Lake Tahoe. Sure. Mm-hmm. And they built a new facility in Sparks. And that lasted until about 2006, when we built the new regional animal shelter in conjunction with Washoe County. Had to get a bond issue passed, had to get Washoe County to accept animal control and get rid of it from the city of Reno, who was doing a very poor job of it. Mm-hmm. So it became a organization that is, in the same building. So the strays can be transferred over to the Humane Society once their 7 days are up. Uh-huh. And it's a great way to do, without duplication, a great way to handle animals that need to find homes.
Yeah. So in the beginning, how was the treatment of the animals? I mean, they would keep them for so many days, and then they probably euthanize them, right?
Well, when I started with the Humane Society in 1983, 23,000 dogs and cats in Washoe County were euthanized every year.
Whoa.
By the time I'd left, it was less than 5,000.
Wonderful.
Most of those were, animals that had some issues, whether, health or older animals. And you got to remember, that was the day when Reno took in animals from all over the state.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That was like the only place, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
and California and the whole works. So you were getting more animals probably to the shelter back then than you are now.
Oh, okay.
Now I think it's around 2,000 animals, maybe somewhere around there. I'm
In
not
a year?
sure. Yeah,
In a
I'm
year?
not sure.
Oh, that's way down there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, I don't know exact numbers. I think they're pretty high.
are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Between dogs and cats, and they still do rabbits or rabbits. They do pet rabbits, huh?
Pocket pets.
Oh, no
goats,
kidding,
birds.
really? Hamsters and things like that too? That's
get a
pretty
little bit of
amazing.
everything.
I'll have to go back over there.
Yeah.
Now, so when you first started, how did you collect? I mean, people just bring them in. Did you have patrols out there? I mean, how did you?
Well, we were the Humane Society, so we didn't do patrols except for our investigation department. We'd go out and do cruelty investigation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, Saturday was my euthanasia day at the Humane Society when I first started. And I tell you, on one day alone, we had 110 lab cross puppies come in and 70-something kittens. One Saturday.
One Saturday.
So there's no way you're going to
Can't take care of that.
You can't.
Yeah.
So we started saying, you know what, you got to spay and neuter your animals. We started a spay neuter voucher program with the Hawkins Foundation. We used to spend a week in a kennel, so people that couldn't afford it, we would pay for it. So it became, there was no excuse.
Yeah.
You had to spay or neuter your dog, and consequently a lot of puppies and kittens aren't born any longer.
Yeah. Well, that's all good. That's all good.
Steve, what kind of cost do you have to run your organization?
Well, the Nevada Humane Society costs about $350, $400 per animal that comes in.
No kidding.
You got to pay for the heat, the medical care,
Sure.
fundraising expense, the whole works.
Yeah.
You got to pay people, and it's about that.
Now, so does the county fund you well?
County doesn't fund the Nevada Humane Society at all.
At all. It's all from
Donations.
fundraising.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Now, remember, I'm no longer with the Humane Society,
Yeah.
but I can kind of let you know what
Yeah,
they're
you
doing.
know what went on
what's
there
going
and
on.
what goes on there. Yeah. So how many employees does it take to run a place like that? Is it all volunteer or?
Oh gosh, no.
No, there are paid.
Yeah.
They probably have 100 employees.
No kidding, 100
It's
employees.
a big facility.
So it's
62,000 square feet.
Yeah, it is, and so you have to fund all of those employees, right? And wow, that's a huge effort every year. No wonder you have to do a lot of fundraising to. When did you start the telethons?
Started the telethon in 1982, and I
Okay.
took over the production in 1985. And,
1985.
and that's when we started selling sponsorships. That's where you make most of your money on the
Right,
telethon,
yeah.
sponsorships.
And then you started franchising this idea around the country. Wow, and how fast did that take off? I imagine that was a big deal because people all need funds, right?
Well, somebody was here visiting that was from Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, and they saw our telethon. So they contacted me, went down there, and I started doing one for them. Houston saw theirs. El Paso saw Houston, so it snowballed, and eventually we signed a contract with PetSmart, Petco, and Heinz Pet Products.
What station was
All
the lead
different-
on that? Oh, they all did it.
No, we did Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS.
Oh.
But Fox Network was the best to work with.
Oh, yeah. And who were the owners at the Fox affiliate?
Andrews.
Andrews
Yeah.
brothers and,
Yeah.
and father were,
Yeah.
they were there. Well, that's great. And then would you get anchors from the other stations?
Absolutely.
Helping you out, like Tad and Aaron?
Bill Brown was the big
Yeah,
anchor.
right.
He's very good doing telethons.
Yeah,
hosting
and how long
telethons.
was the telethon? Was it 24-hour type of thing?
No, it was 14 hours.
14 hours.
But it's straight. You don't have national cutaways.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have any breaks like you do nationally.
Wow, that is a grind.
Yeah, it was.
You know, to stay up and energized and.
It is.
Yeah. So what kind of money did you bring in?
We raised about, during the 23 years that I did it, we raised over $3.5 million.
Wow.
And that doesn't include the in-kind and the bequests. About 90% of our bequests came from someone that saw our telethon.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of dog lovers out there, right?
A lot of
Animal
animal
lovers. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you go into any neighborhood, right? Almost everybody's got a dog.
A pet of some sort.
And one of those new doorbells. They got it covered. They got it all
ring.
covered, between the barking dog and that. It's
Well,
hard.
do you guys have a cemetery, or what do you do as a...
No, most people cremate their pets now.
Yeah.
And I believe Washoe County and Nevada Humane Society has a crematory there. I don't know if they're using it or not. state of the art, but I've heard they don't use it.
We had a dog die recently, and I had it cremated. I couldn't believe the pricing on I mean, it's getting expensive to take care of dogs
You
nowadays.
have to shop around. You really do.
Oh,
with
really?
dog
I didn't shop
cremations.
around because you're sad. You want to have it done right, but they are not bashful about what they ask for burials of
They're pretty
animals.
heavy too. You get your dog, it's a pretty heavy.
Yeah, we
box.
got a little urn. I
Yeah,
think that
but-
was
yeah.
$200 or something. So I think sometimes take advantage of
No doubt.
people's grief. And I don't think they should do that. and I hate to say it, the vets are very expensive. I don't know what you'd do if you had a dog and you didn't have resources.
Yeah.
How you take care of a little dog like that,
A lot of pets go without medical care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they die or do they give them up, or did you find that?
We had an emergency care fund that we funded at the Nevada Humane Society. Our auction back then benefited the emergency care fund.
Okay.
It was about $50,000 a year, and we could have used $150,000 a year.
Easy.
It's
Easy
a big
that.
It's a
need.
big
It's a
thing.
Big need, yeah.
It
Yeah,
is.
because we spent, I don't know, $1,000 very quickly on the dog that finally died because it had heart problems.
We get requests for help all the time. People
Yeah.
that their pet needs something urgent and
Yeah.
they can't afford it.
Right.
Yeah,
But
so
you
there's
can't.
a need for sure.
Do you provide
No,
that?
I mean we pay vet bills for our dogs like everybody else, and we have 40 dogs, so I can't pay.
Do you
for
get
the
a lot of
public's
free
to-
services from the vets? You don't? Oh, bummer.
A lot of the
Come on, people.
a lot of the vets now are franchised.
They are.
Yes, about 75% of the vet hospitals in town are franchised.
Wow.
From national organizations.
Oh, that's
And it's
well.
really
I mean,
changed.
that's okay, but even the lawyers, and they don't have the best reputation. They do gratis, right? They do free work. And what about all these people that we see on TV? They have vets there that, they have these shows where they do a lot of free work, or it's based on income or whatever. It seems like that's a big need in the
There
area.
are programs now, and he probably knows a lot more about it, that offer free spay and neuter. But
okay.
for general medical care.
Yeah, medical care.
Yeah, there's nothing really out there.
It's pricey,
Yeah,
pricey. Well, that's great work that the Humane Society does. And I imagine the other two organizations, the ASPCA, right?
SPCA.
Yeah. Do they do similar work as well?
Yeah,
How are they different?
They're
How
not
are-
an open shelter, so
Oh.
when they're full, they're full.
Oh, okay.
So they'll say, can't take it.
Yeah. So what do you do when you get an overflow of dogs or cats or rabbits? You have to
You have to.
do it, right?
Euthanize.
You have to make room, even though they say it's a non-kill.
Correct.
They still have to do it. And what do you base that on? Age, sickness? What would cause?
I think every
what's
shelter
the protocol there?
probably has their own, at least from my experience.
Yeah.
Every shelter I've ever worked with, they all have their own
Protocol.
Criteria.
Criteria.
their
Yeah,
own
they're
way
very
of-
sick.
Yeah, they're all different and they're run individually, and so they all have different ways of handling it.
Oh, okay.
You would be amazed the spectrum of criteria.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is.
really
Huh? There's no standardized
No, there is not.
way to do it. Yeah.
Do you guys spend a lot of money advertising the
We?
service or the SPCA?
Yeah.
I've seen it
You
before.
know,
You see 'em.
no.
I've seen 'em
Yeah,
occasionally,
They have nonprofit.
They do. They have a
PSAs.
Yeah, they're a little larger organization that we are, so they have a budget for those types of things.
Well, we're going to take a break here, and then we're going to come back and really get into some detail on what you're doing, the great work you're doing with your organization. So stay tuned. We'll be back with Old Tales of Nevada right after this.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante. The beautiful fall colors are being duplicated in the fall collection of fashions at Boutique Elegante. Sweaters are either in the crayon colors for fall or soft muted shades in bark and beige. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
All of us at Shoeman's Custom Cycle are ready to get you and your Harley ready for the road. From oil and tire changes to high-performance engine upgrades and dyno tuning, we at Shoeman's have got you covered with experienced factory-certified mechanics and a full-service machine shop loaded with parts and accessories. Shoeman's Custom Cycle has been serving Northern Nevada since 1988. So ride on down to Shoeman's Custom Cycle at 275 East 4th Street in downtown Reno.
Shoeman's Custom Cycle with a biker's bike shop.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno.
Deluxe Travel, locally owned and operating since 1991, is the home for travel to Mexico and Central and South America. The crew at Deluxe Travel is bilingual, trustworthy, thorough, and caring. They will do everything possible to make your dream vacation the best it can be. Now is the time to book for winter travel, so stop by the office at 100 California Avenue or call 686-7000. You can also check us out on our website at deluxetravelLTD.com.
At Deluxe Travel, we sell dreams. Come in and plan yours.
Welcome back to Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. I usually take the time out again here to introduce everybody on the panel. I'm John O'Brien, the host of the show, and then Roy Marshall, our executive producer, and Kristen Ivey, who is the executive director and founder of CRCS.
Yeah. Sorry.
And Steve Ricker, who is the president of RG Consulting, which has a lot to do with fundraising. In the local area and beyond, I guess, right, Steve?
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. Hey, we were talking about advertising for the different groups, and a lot of times we'll see on TV this very sad commercial where dogs are being abused, or these, what do they call them, puppy farms, and they're not cared for very well. Is that something that is a franchise type thing, or does the money they raise, any part of that come back to the Reno community to take care of our dogs? How does that work?
It's every group is separate.
Oh.
So the ASPCA does do a lot of advertising in our area. You see it a lot. Those
Yeah.
are the really sad commercials, very emotional, sometimes
Yeah.
hard to watch.
Yeah.
But that is not associated with any group here in
Okay.
Nevada. That's ASPCA, and they're located in New York.
Oh.
In Northern Nevada, there's the SPCA.
SPCA.
Yes, of
Okay.
Northern Nevada.
Okay.
And so they're their own entity, and they have their own, way of marketing, and the two are not related.
Okay, good. I'm glad we clarified
Yeah, well, you
that.
have these national groups that come in and raise all this money locally, and the local organizations don't see a cent.
Yeah.
And they'll even come in during national disasters, pick up, a half dozen dogs or so, then come back with a direct mail and or a TV radio campaign to raise more money.
Solicit
I can
funds.
tell you the ASPCA has a tremendous amount of money in their endowment fund.
They do.
Yes.
Yeah. Too bad they don't share it with the communities. Yeah. I mean, where's the love there, right?
At one point they had to.
They had to.
Yes.
Because they had so much, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, Kristen, let's talk about your organization again and get into it more. You work very closely with the Humane Society and the SPCA as well.
We do. We always support local, and so we do have really good partnerships with Humane Society and SPCA here. We've got a couple of different programs that we work in conjunction with the SPCA, a retention program for their adopters, and different programs that we've built with them. So that's working really, really well. Basically, we are a support system for shelters. So we take in the dogs that they cannot place, or dogs that need a little more help or a little more time. Sometimes it's the dogs that never make it to the adoption floor. They can't pass evaluation because they've too shut down or too fearful or things like that. Sometimes it's the ones that have been adopted and returned over and over and over. Sometimes it's the one that are sitting in the kennel for many, many years, just kind of deteriorating, and at that point it's very difficult to adopt them out. So we bring in those dogs, and then we do more of the recovery, rehabilitation, and then when they're ready, we place them.
Yeah. Now, are these dogs, are they born that way? I mean,
No.
how do these dogs get in such bad shape?
Yeah, well, They end up in different situations. We've taken in the stories that we have. The dogs that come through our facility are just incredible.
I can imagine.
Some have given their life to laboratory research.
Oh.
Some just lived in a backyard on a chain for many years.
Oh.
Some were in a no-kill shelter and sat there. We had one dog 9 years in a shelter.
9
so
years.
They wind up in different situations.
Yeah.
Or a lot of times they'll have an abuse case or some type of trauma, and that dog winds up at a shelter, and the shelter cannot adopt that dog out.
Right.
They need help. They need
Yeah.
recovery. They need training. They need all kinds of time before they can. So we'll take the dog from the shelter.
Yeah. So is it depression? Is that what dogs get? Is a depressive mental attitude?
No, it's it's
What
just.
about the Highway Patrol, the Sheriff's Department, and the Police Department? Do they ever bring any?
No, we do not.
I think
No,
they're pretty
yeah.
well cared for, don't you think, Ray? I mean, those guys who have those on patrol, they love those dogs,
Yeah.
And they're well fed and I would imagine well cared for, unless they're in a traumatic situation of some sort.
I raise lions, leopards, tigers, and wild animals
Out
for the
there in a
city-
ranch.
Oh, wow.
For the city of Houston, that people would have them and they couldn't take care of them.
Yeah. Well, there's always a need no matter what the animal is, I would have guessed, So anyway, it's not depression necessarily. It's
Well,
just,
I mean, that's a human.
yeah, that's a human thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, a dog can be certainly.
A certain
certainly.
kind of sad,
Yeah, dogs are social creatures.
Yeah.
And so they need to be, socialized. They
Yeah.
like to be with people. They like to be with other dogs.
Yeah.
Depending on the breed and individual temperament, of course.
What makes them violent? What turns a dog violent? Is it
Well, violent is another human term. Dogs are not malicious in thought. They don't think that way.
Okay.
They think on instinct.
Okay.
So any act that they do is more of an instinctual thing. It's not malicious.
Okay. So we can't blame the dog.
No, and I'll give you a good example. So rabbit goes running across the street, border collie, for example, that's triggered by movement and meant to herd. That triggers them to chase after the rabbit, right?
Yeah.
Technically, that's a violent act because it's chasing with the intent to harm.
Right.
But it's not a violent animal.
It's a natural.
just triggered by so just the human term would be angry and dogs are not like that.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So did you have to go through a lot of special training to get into this kind of activity?
You know what? That's a loaded question. One of the most amazing parts of my work is that I have worked with trainers that are certified trainers, certified behaviorists, and those that are not, from all over the United States, all over the US. And it's just like any industry. You can be certified in it and not necessarily great at it, or you cannot be certified and be incredibly good.
Yeah.
We do have certified trainers, certified behaviorists, so yes, we have those certifications. However, what taught us what we know is, many years of working hands-on with the dogs that are under stress and that have been through it, and realizing what works and what doesn't.
Do you have what we
that
call dog whisperers?
We do.
You do, huh?
We do.
Yeah, because they just have a knack.
Yeah, because
right?
one of the things we've gained recognition for is we now get requests for help from groups all over the United States.
Oh.
And so these are dogs that have been evaluated or assessed by trainers and behaviorists all over the U.S. And labeled this, that, or the other. And so they're asking for our help. So we've sort of really created that niche.
Wow.
Everything we do is behavior based.
Wow.
So we do a lot of training too, but training
Yeah.
and behavior are two different things.
Yeah.
And so everything we do is very behavior
Now,
based.
how long have you been at this? How long has your organization been?
Well, CRCS has been official on paper for 10 years.
Oh, 10 years.
But I did do this many years prior, just while I ran my other business.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Yeah, just out of volunteering.
Yeah, you were just
and
being nice.
taking dogs on my own and placing them on my own and working with them on my own.
Yeah.
And then after years of that and realizing there's just a hole in the system.
Yeah.
And you can only complain about something for so long. At some point, you got to step up and fill the niche.
Let's fix this.
Let's do this. Let's
Right.
fix, what's not being done. And so I really needed to do it. I needed to step in and fill the whole.
Yeah. Now, is there any dogs that are more prone to personality problems than other dogs? What seems to be your most,
You know what we get a lot of is working breeds. We do get a lot of breeds that are intelligent breeds that just are genetically programmed to work and or have a purpose. So like German Shepherds, Border Collies, we have a lot of working breed dogs, Heeler, Pointer. Those dogs were meant to work with a human and so you don't fulfill them. You put them in isolation, or you mistreat them, or you in some way they're not being fulfilled, whether it's physical abuse or mental, some sort of isolation and confinement, and they really struggle.
Yeah.
So we do get a lot of working breeds. But then we have a lot of mutts too, which are just as awesome because they're the perfect mix of all kinds of different things.
My dog has a purpose in life. That's to eat and sleep. All day long, No, it's a lot of fun. It's a cross between a poodle and a something else.
See, there's all kinds of mixes.
Cute little dog. Yeah. So that's good. So when you get a dog, okay, they send you a dog, and what's the usual time frame from taking this damaged dog to the point where, if you're successful, you can put it back out there for adoption?
It's just like people. It's really going to vary depending on the individuality of the dog.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of variables that come into play when you look at the overall behavior and temperament of a dog. You've got genetics, you've got breeding, you've got history, associations that the dog has made previously, good or bad, environment, all kinds of things that come into play. And so you put all these different things and it creates one dog. You could have 5 dogs and 5 people and get essentially 25 different
results.
Combinations.
Yeah. So how many individuals work with a dog? Do you have like a psychiatrist, and then you have somebody who does this and somebody who does that? How does that play out?
You wish, huh?
I'm a dog psychiatrist.
You multitask.
No, so it's just very much similar to people, right? Some of us can go through something pretty traumatic in our life, and some people can let things go and they're very resilient and they can move forward quickly. Others hang on to it very, very long time. Okay. So it really depends on the dog and it depends on what they went through.
Okay.
So we do have dogs that come in and we can help them find their way, and they're out of our facility within 2 months. We have majority of dogs are anywhere between 4, 5, 6, 7 months.
Really? That long? You're dedicated.
We also have several dogs at any given time that are with us for years.
Wow. So you don't give up easily?
Oh, we don't give up on any dog.
Because I mean, if it's not easily fixed or you can't fix it, then you have to do the dog.
No, we never give up. You just keep going until you
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that's great work. We've got to take another break. We'll come back for our last segment here of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present, right after this.
For over 30 years, the Book Gallery has been serving its customers with a wide selection of books, comics, and DVDs. They specialize in Western Americana, sci-fi, romance, and general fiction. Be sure to ask about their trade policy. 30 years and going strong, the Book Gallery, 1203 North Rock Boulevard in Sparks.
A proud sponsor of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
Everything is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds. All jewelry is handpicked here at Precision Diamonds.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
Hey everybody, Dave Asher here down at the Nevada Marketplace in the Reno Town Mall. You know, we all spend a lot of money during the holiday season. Please, this year, shop with Nevada-based locally owned businesses as much as possible. Here at the Nevada Marketplace, we support over 250 local merchants. You're sure to find a perfect gift for everyone on your list. We're open 7 days a week with easy parking, and it's warm inside. We're at the corner of Peckham and Virginia. Go to buynevadafirst.com and keep Reno local.
Somewhere in Time is the place to find what will be treasured for all time. It's a huge store filled with trains and models, collectibles, art, antiques, and more. You might say they have everything under the sun. Almost. Come see it to believe it at Somewhere in Time in Reno. Here's a sale you can't miss. Carpenter's Music World will push, pull, or drag your old broken down trade-in piano to their store for free. Then they will sell you a new or quality pre-owned piano at once in a lifetime savings and pay the sales tax too. Then Carpenter's will deliver the piano to your home for free. It doesn't get any better than that. Unlock your musical potential. Shop the push, pull, or drag sale now through October 31st only at Carpenter's Music World, 1090 Kitski Lane in Reno.
Come to Precision Diamonds. I'll fix your jewelry just like new.
For our cold winter days, jackets and vests are the perfect answer. Faux fur and faux leather are the strong fabrics for this season. Team them with maxi skirts for a beautiful seasonal look. All of this and so much more at Boutique Elegante.
It's the best of the Old West at the 65-room Victorian-style Silverland Inn and Suites in Virginia City. Mountain high and city close, a great place for your next holiday party, seminar, reunion, anniversary, retreat, convention, or wedding. The Silverland has everything you need: ballroom, bar, great rates, service, and more. Only 22 miles from Reno. There is even transportation from Reno to Virginia City available on request. Call 847-4484 today. All right, we're back here for our last segment of Old Tales of Nevada, Past and Present. We're talking with Kristen Ivy and Steve Rickard, totally involved in animal protection and rehabilitation and adoption and all the good things that our animals need here in northern Nevada. And as we said in our earlier portions of our show, we do things that haven't even been thought about in other parts of the country, and we are leaders in this field for many, many years, starting with Steve back, well, you weren't around 1932, were you, Steve? I hope not. But you were definitely a mover and shaker in the welfare of animals in northern Nevada. We appreciate that very much. And now you have Kristen working alongside with the Humane Society and other organizations to take these damaged animals and rehabilitate them. And I'm just sitting there as you're talking, thinking about what it costs. Yeah. To rehabilitate an animal, especially if you're keeping it for months or even years.
You know? And that's why most people don't do it. It's because it is costly, and because
Did you say $400 a piece?
Well, that's for Humane
Society.
And I do not want to speak for Humane Society because I don't know their numbers, but I do believe their average is, per dog on average, a few $100s, something in that range. But most shelters, like the Humane Society, their niche is still very needed. They do high volume, right? Mm-hmm. So they get a lot of dogs in, a lot of dogs out. Right. We come in by taking in the dogs that don't fit in the regular system. Right. So by the time the dog comes to us, they have gone through a lot of either abuse, neglect, long-term isolation, confinement, some type of trauma, and so their medical needs are a little higher. Yeah. And then just the time that's required to help them on their way is a lot longer. And so the reason most groups don't do it is because it takes time and it costs money. Yeah. And so it's a very difficult niche to fill for those very reasons.
Yeah, so you're talking sometimes, I suppose, hundreds, but many times thousands of dollars in treatment to bring somebody back, bring something back. Now, when you take that rehabilitated animal and it's ready for adoption, do you take it to the Humane Society so they do it, or you do it on your own?
No, yeah, we're an
so you have shows or
we're an adoption center as well.
Okay.
And so whenever the dog is ready, and we don't decide that, the dog does. But whenever the dog is ready, we transition them into homes. Okay. So our adoption process is a little different as well. Yeah. Those higher volume groups, you can go in, walk around, and you can adopt very quickly that same day and take a dog home. Right. With us, we really encourage our we get to know them on a personal level. They kind of become our family. Sure. Because once they adopt, we're like their #1 fan club. We're there to support them. We do provide post-adoption support for the life of the dog.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
Anytime they have a problem, question, challenge, they need any help at all with behavior training, anything, even if they have to go out of town for emergency, the dog can come back. We offer support service.
Now, how many animals do you have in your center at any one time?
Well, in-house, we usually have 40.
Oh, wow.
And then we also offer programs and services for people that have adopted that need some help, or people that are going through their own personal trauma and they need help rehoming their dog.
Okay.
And so at any given time, we would also have an additional anywhere from 15 to 20 dogs that we're helping place that don't live in-house.
Okay, and how many
So-
people are on site working each day at your center?
Well, we have a total of 10 employees.
Oh, you do?
But each day we need to have 4 dog staff plus our trainer. We do have someone up at the front desk in case anyone were to walk in and want to schedule or get information.
Wow, what a commitment.
We have, so we have a group of people that, our team is.
Did you have to buy that property out there?
We did.
Wow.
Yeah, we leased it for a couple years. When we moved into it, it was just a
Old
big
restaurant.
mess.
Yeah, I
it was
imagine.
Cattleman's that had been kind of abandoned for
Yeah.
many years, so it was pretty gross. And we leased that facility for a couple years until we raised enough money to purchase it.
Yeah. What is property out like? What does that cost out there?
So now we have 5.2 acres, and we have this commercial building that we've only been able to renovate half of. We still have a whole 50% of the building to go.
Wow.
But yeah, we're getting there. It's a labor of love.
Okay, so you have to do fundraising, right?
We have to do fundraising.
Okay, so Steve does his fundraising in a certain way. How do you go about doing your fundraising?
Well, he's been a big help because we have been we're grassroots, we're a small grassroots organization. Literally started with coins in a jar. I had nothing when I started this, and so. We have been in business for 10 years, but we have now reached this level where we are getting requests across the United States, and everything is more the dogs, the insurance, the cost to just provide the care, just everything is more. And so we've really turned to help for some help because we have not had anyone in place for fundraising. And so this is a new thing for us, is learning how to raise money to keep to keep this going. And he's been an excellent brain for me because fundraising is a big question mark.
We all have our niche. We all have our niche, right? And, we Jim and I run an advertising agency, and we help people who don't know anything about marketing, and Steve in a certain way is the same way in helping you fundraise.
So we're at that level where we really do need some help.
So what is your next big event? What can we look forward to?
We've got a big event coming up. It's an annual event that we do. It's called Dog Tales.
Okay, Dog Tales.
Tales spelt as in the story, the tale of the dog, because one of the biggest things that differentiates us from other groups is the stories of these amazing dogs. They come in just broken and kind of beaten down, and we just take them from where they're at, and as they progress through the program and just improve and overcome. The most beautiful things about dogs is they are always, always, always willing to let go of their past and learn a new way. Us humans, on the other hand, have a little more trouble doing that.
Yeah, right.
And so once we do adopt them out, we invite a lot of them back for this Dog Tales event. They walk the stage, we tell their stories through video, music, and then we have a lot of our dogs. So it's an amazing event in which we share the stories, the incredible triumphs and
Where are you
things.
going to do this at?
This year we're trying something new. We're doing it at the Rock Church, which is because they have this incredible theater style seating, so it's more of a show.
Okay.
So we have, audio and just some fun stuff that can really help share their stories, and it's just super fun to celebrate all the successes.
Yeah, so if someone wants to attend, is it free, or is it how does this work?
You can purchase, or I shouldn't say purchase tickets, it's ticket list, but you can go on our website and reserve your spot there.
Okay.
We do have food there from
Paisans
donating food. Yeah, so we've got
They're just moving into a new location,
Yeah, they are. We have guests, bartenders. We've got John Potter from Channel 2.
Oh, cool.
We've got Adriana Bennett from Channel 2 and Ryan Kennedy from Channel 2. We got the rock band, and I got to tell you what, this band is the best rock band in Northern Nevada.
It is.
We're adding a lot of fun stuff to it. Silent auction.
And live auction.
Yeah. So who do you anticipate attending? Are you going to have the high rollers in town? Do you have a lot of participation from them, or is it normally small donations that you thrive on?
A little bit of both.
Really? Yeah. Who are some of your big contributors? Can you mention it, or is it
Steve Ricker?
Steve Ricker is good. That's right, Steve.
No, you probably shouldn't go there.
Yeah, but are there foundations that are doing that?
Yeah, the Heart
What would be a
Foundation.
meaningful contribution?
The Heart Foundation.
What would be?
A meaningful, yeah.
Oh, wow.
$200 or a few $1,000s? Or?
Yeah, that's a really good question. That's an interesting question. We have a lot of really cool things this year, like vacations and things, like a silent and live auction.
Silent auctions.
So we've really, he's been able to get some really neat trips and things like that. And so we're really hoping, we're hoping to raise, some money. So it's $70 to attend, and it comes with food and drink and
dollar beer
and
$2
dollar
wine.
beers. And then just all the auction items we're really hoping to raise.
What's the date?
Yeah.
It's November 2nd.
Oh, November 2nd.
Yeah, on a Saturday.
3 to 6.
Excellent, yeah.
3 to 6.
3 to 6, good timer. Yeah, good time for that, yeah. Well, I hope everybody will attend. And, as we do the show and edit it and everything, we'll give you the show and you can put it on your social media
Awesome.
to
Thank you.
promote the whole thing for yourself. And I think, as far as causes go, next to taking care of our fellow man, we want to take care of our furry animals.
Mathesons really love pets.
Do they?
I would definitely hit them up, yeah.
Well, I imagine the more outreach you have and people find out about it, how could you not?
Yeah, and that's kind of what we're at this point where we would just really want to share our cause. And if we can get anybody down to the facility, I love doing personal tours and showing you what we're working on.
Oh, that's a good question. Can the public come in at any time?
Yeah, because we are limited on staff, we do everything by appointment.
Oh, okay.
But I love going out to groups and I do speaking engagements and I try and get as many people out to the facility because once you see it and I give you a tour and show you, look what we're doing, it's just super
It would be neat to see the transformation.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your normal shelter. And I got to say, I've worked with probably 150 animal groups across the country, and pound for pound, the RCS is the most efficient, most effective organization I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
Thanks.
True story. We're getting some feedback from something over there off stage. I don't know what it is, but that's okay. So your website is what?
Our website is www.crcsdogs, that's plural with an S, .org.
.org, okay.
crcsdogs.org.
So you can go there. Now, if they want to reach you personally, do you take phone calls?
Yeah, you can call our main line. It's 800-1906.
Okay.
We've got somebody at the front desk. We have a text line. We've got a main line, got a main email. You can always pop in Tuesday through Saturday and just ask a couple questions.
Yeah.
So,
now, do you look for docents or volunteers to help with the cause? Okay, what kind of process is that?
We do a volunteer orientation the third Saturday of every month, and that's where we give a tour and get people signed up. There's a lot of different areas that people can help. Everybody's got a talent, and whatever your talent is, I'm sure we can use it.
Okay, good. We're down to our last 30 seconds. I just want to encourage people to support this great cause, or the Humane Society, or the SPCA, the one that's local, and get involved or donate, do something to help our animals here in Northern Nevada. But Steve, want to thank you for all your work. Certainly want to thank you, Kristen, for...
Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
We appreciate the opening up of all this that many people don't know about. And thank you, Roy, for bringing us the opportunity to have a show like this. And we especially like to thank our audience. They're always there for us, and we want to invite you back next week for another episode of Old Tales of Nevada, past and present. In the meantime, for Steve and Kristen and you, Roy, and myself, John O'Brien, we want to wish you a great Nevada day, and we'll see you next week on Old Tales of Nevada, past and present.
Under blue Nevada sky, with a hot sun in his eye, Roy walked the elk and wild horse trail.